the owner of X100, Mr. Roberto Davila, and Baron Lopez, who was a DJ for that radio station, first played the rap music on the radio.
I said, let me do what no radio station has done in Puerto Rico. That is doing the hot mixes. Hot mixes, taking one song, re-edited, special for the radio station.
In 1987, we were bringing down to Puerto Rico Public Enemy. And one day, this guy comes into our office asking us if he could open up for Public Enemy. And I said, who are you? And he says, oh, I'm DJ Negro. We do Spanish hip hop. And he brought us the demo of what eventually became La Recta Final.
Recta Final.
When I met him, he was a little kid like this, very small. He was very fast, very intelligent, very creative. And for his age at that time,
Traer este negocio en realidad fue bastante difícil porque lo que traía era muy diferente, era algo nuevo.
Santo Domingo, Venezuela, México, Cuba, Miami, ya.
Y el deseo de escucharme, escuchar mi voz con un ritmo y que la gente lo pudiera oír y pudiera grabarlo y lo pudiera poner para darle para atrás, darle play, que es como es más o menos el feeling de haber tenido una grabación. Eso pues me motivaba.
there were other movements taking place in the late 80s and early 90s, and one of them was the hip-hop and Español thing that started happening in Puerto Rico with Vico C. But the other big thing was the movement of reggae in Spanish in Panama.
Regaeton started in Panama. They took the dance hall sound, they took the reggae sound, and they added Spanish language lyrics to it.
A lot of songs that Jamaicans had done were getting like done over, but not the same words, but just with the same melody, with the same beat, with a Spanish guy or a Panamanian guy spitting something over it that kind of sounded good to him.
A producer in Jamaica named King Jammy made what they call in Jamaica rhythms with a drum machine instead of using a whole band. And what he did is he took a very basic, cheap, almost like toy-like Casio keyboard drum machine that you could buy for like $100 in the store, and he just turned it on and put one of the presets on. And that became the most revolutionary rhythm in Jamaican music history.
There's one beat that's really came up maybe 85, 86, which is it's a song called Dembow. And that beat became known as the Dembow beat. Dembow, Dembow, which means they bow, which is a sexual reference to guys who give oral sex to women, or women who give oral sex to men.
That was a huge record. It was a massive Jamaican hit. Then that beat from that record sort of became the foundation beat for 90% of all the reggaeton records that followed.
This guy called Edgar Franco comes to us and tells us, listen, oh yeah, I admire your work, you know, because he's great. I'm from Panama and I do Spanish reggae. We released El General, which was the first reggaeton record. It combined the influence of the Jamaican dembow with the Panamanian interpretation and the Panamanian flow.
Bueno, mi nombre es Edgardo Franco, mejor conocido como el Ragamuffin General. El General, y bueno, estoy cantando desde que tengo 10, 12 años y reggae realmente entró en mi vida desde 1978. Nosotros agarrábamos los instrumentales que venían de Jamaica y eran en 33 y nosotros lo acelerábamos a 45, porque era roots reggae y así fue como el reggae empezó a tomar un poquito más de movimiento. tenía un grupo que se llamaba Renato y las 4 estrellas. Yo era una de las estrellas de ese grupo. Y Renato no hablaba español. Pero él se esforzó y dijo, yo tengo que oír reggae en español. Y él le dio y le dio y le dio y salió reggae en español.
When those two things combined, hip hop in Spanish in Puerto Rico and what the Panamanians were doing with reggae, the kids just latched onto that. And that sound that came out of Puerto Rico with rapping on top of it was what ended up engendering reggaeton. They sped it up, they started playing with those rhythms, but it was all very underground.
Underground pretty much meant that it wouldn't get airplayed because the radio stations didn't want to play it. They said, this is not for radio, this is not music, this is garbage.
Because everything was just underground. They was talking dirty, they were talking everything.
And I can talk about girls' asses, and I can talk about fucking, and I can talk about shooting somebody in the head, and I can talk about slanging drugs, and I can talk about whatever I want to talk about, because you know what, that's our shit. That's our music.
Mi propio estilo cuando hablo, te hablo del tema, el gatillo y si te pega, te apunto y te rompo hasta el tiro para que no te intrometas y para que no jodas conmigo. Chelsea es mi nombre y no es nada raro. Acá mi pistola y tenerte en la mano y si tengo, hazlo, no vas a tener mano.
So if you don't have a radio station that wants to play the angry, raw reggaeton, then the movement has to come up from the ghetto. The movement has to come up from the people that want to spread the word without having the normal channels of promotion and communication, which is radio, TV, whatever.
Prácticamente lo que hacíamos era reunirnos con el DJ en el cuarto de su casa, donde estaba, pues él tenía su equipo montado, que no eran más que 2 platos MK 1200, un plato aquí, el otro acá, el mixer, Barón López con Discord, DJ Negro, también DJ Playero colaboró con nosotros al principio. De ahí surge básicamente el movimiento, la etapa del underground.
Entro. Yo no salía a comprar equipo. Esto, antes los DJ cogíamos los equipos, uno de, mira, préstame un turntable, al otro, mira, préstame la bocina, al otro es, préstame el mixer. Y juntando y cogiendo prestado y así hacíamos un equipo y así comenzábamos a hacer los parties.
Playero, pues fíjate, lo conocí en el residencial Los Lirios en Santurce como DJ. Me hacía, a veces tocábamos juntos en disco parties por ahí. Yo no podía hacer fiestas, él iba y los tocaba y cosas así.
Playero is a pioneer. He was the first DJ that came out with a whole bunch of guys throwing out lyrics in Spanish with reggae beats.
Playero used to do these cassettes, these underground cassettes, originally from his house, on a 4-track cassette deck.
Pues aquí.
¿Dónde tú te sentabas? ¿Dónde era el estudio tuyo?
No, aquí
¿Tu
mismo,
equipo?
aquí. Estaba puesto aquí. Aquí estaba puesto.
¿Dónde te sentaba el artista?
No, en el piso, en la silla, en cualquier lado.